The spirit of Ellington pursuing us, and vice versa, we pursuing the Ellington spirit, aided and abetted by a very important communicator between and among us, James Spaulding. And James Spaulding, in a first appearance, really, in many a moon in this area, I think he had appeared on this circuit, about 36 months ago. James, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here, right here.
Intermission on the stand at the Artist Quarter, and it's good to have you with us.
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm happy to be here, and it's really groovy down here, man. We're really swinging. Everything feels good.
Well, your local group behind you, George Avalos percussion and Jay Young bass and Billy Carruthers piano, should be inspirational for...
Oh, definitely, man. What can I say? Wow. The best anywhere. Right here in Minneapolis.
These are from...
For me, because it's my first time out, of course, And I'm really enjoying this, man. I hate to leave, really, Everybody's been so nice, and George, he's been just beautiful. He's been my friend for, I've been knowing him since Chicago back in 1958, somewhere around there. 57,
Just a few years, a little water over the dam. You and George Avalos.
George Avalos.
Yes.
Yes, he's a beautiful drummer with Billy Eggstein, and he's really out there, doing it and take care of business, of course. Yeah, I'm really happy about this, really, what can I say?
James, you and I were talking a little bit last night about the human spirit and the force of this music and its way of, permeating the good feelings and sponsoring good feelings. And you had a few thoughts along the line that I think there are a lot of us would like to hear.
Oh, man, listen, I'm just now realizing, the power and the force of this music and being the source of it and coming from, the creation part of, where all civilization began, in Africa. I was like, I'd gone on back there, man, and I'm doing research on finding out the rhythms and finding out all these different things that, compose this music, all the ingredients, that make this music so beautiful and so spontaneous. And I found at the same time that the healing force of this music, I found that this music actually can, stimulate whatever's in your, I don't know the medical terms of, anything that's, hospital doctors, identify with, but this music actually can heal and really release some of the tension in your whole body. And actually, this music is a healing force, man. When you hear it and hear it from the right source, it really brings people together. Of course, naturally, those who, that are not so familiar with this music and its structure and where it's coming from, they still are attracted by it and its rhythms and its pulse. And I'm just now really starting to really understand the force of this and the dynamics of the healing force of this music. And I feel so good about playing it, And if I wasn't playing it, I would be listening to it and enjoying it. It has a healing quality, And I found out that this music has something to do with, like the physical and the blood flow, like people who are suffering from arthritis. Check this out. People who are suffering with arthritis, man, can actually be relieved of their, suffering by listening to this music, America's original art form, And it's really amazing that I'm just discovering this, and I'm just really excited about it at the same time,
Well, it certainly it sounds to me as if you might be moving into a path that might include musical therapy and...
Therapy and, and all things, man, that will relieve that, tension, creates those things. Even when I'm playing sometimes I notice I'll tense up and not really understand why I'm tense, And when I begin to play, I loosen up those muscles in my body, my neck, and in my back of my neck and throughout my body, and I feel so much better when I do that. I don't fight against that feeling that makes you feel good, And the rhythms and the pulse of the foundation of this music, it makes it so important that it just makes you feel good, and then brings people together. The other social part of it, right, and the psychological part of it is just, it's just so positive. You can ask me anything. This is the most purest music, I think. Jazz music, I think it's the most purest music in the universe. And Duke Ellington, I'm sure he knew that. I didn't know that before I started listening to Duke. And when I first heard Duke, I thought he was corny. I thought it was old-fashioned. And I was only, I don't know, like 14. I said, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear Charlie Parker. I want to hear something, fashion and straight ahead, but not realizing that the basis where he was coming from was he was out there healing, but he didn't, put it into the terms that I'm using now. But I'm so happy to be a part of that now. I can see that I'm able to share with all these people, that are listening and enjoy this music individually and collectively and whatever, that this is our original art form here. This comprises everything. It's all the ingredients that you can think of, the blues, right on up to, like Sun Ra's space, to exploring the universe and coming back home and being able to have a base to, relate to without hurting anyone. And we all come from a source here that we know of, and we have to share this feeling, and this feeling should go out for all of us to try to change things so we can come together, and it brings people together, right? We were talking about that last night, really, that it brings us together as a people, as human beings, and I just love that part of it also, with the sound of this, great music, and I'm just, I'm really, I don't know what to say. Sometimes I just sit down, I just listen to Charlie Parker, and I still listen to John Coltrane, and I listen to early Miles stuff, and that music is so powerful and so healing, man. I just jump up, I get up, I have these, sometimes I suffer with arthritis in my arms and my shoulders, okay, and my fingers, and I can't let that happen, right? So, I try
Not
to
for a
fight
piccolo and
against that.
flute player.
Huh?
Not for a flute or a piccolo artist.
Man, if I start, having those kind of things, because those are arteries being blocked up by my tension and my, not worrying about things and, paying the rent and the phone bill and all that stuff and con edits and all these things, and not being able to have the things that we need to survive. I said, I can still survive, but this music is so powerful and so pure that, we can all share in this. And I think this is one of the greatest things in the world for us to participate and come together with, and sort of like network, that word is so used, but network our feelings and our understanding so we can solve some of the problems that's going on on the planet with our human species. Going all the way back to our origins, we must try to, I think, I feel we have to study and respect each other. We have to, learn to respect each other, look at each other and say, hey, well, I'm different, you're different. But we're not really different, we just look different, but we're all individuals, like as individual as the creators. And the creator, intended for us to do so we can continue to grow, because jazz is a creative and improvisational thing where it's always improving. As long as you just keep, doing it. You make mistakes, of course. You make mistakes. We're not perfect. No one has come to this planet that's that perfect yet. I haven't seen. We're like recipients of all the ones who suffered through all of the stuff that went down before us, the wars and rumors of wars and all that. But we have a creator. We have a creative force that's doing this, man. So how can we deny that? But that's up to those individuals who feel that way. But we're all brothers and sisters, really. And we have a source that we come from. We have a place that it all originated from, the cradle of civilization. I know that you can tell me where it's coming from, And I'm a part of it, and I just feel very proud to be a part of it. And I'm just trying to do my best and do my little share, and to hopefully to help, make others feel that they can keep on going and not be able to, not get caught up in negative thoughts about things that in the past that have happened. It's about forgiveness. It's about love and about understanding. And this music has brought so much to me mentally and spiritually. I haven't even had a chance to really write it down, but it's moving so fast, and I just want to be able to pass it on to those who really love this music the way I do, and these musicians that I'm playing with.
James Spaulding, really, those are wonderful sentiments, and
Yes.
thanks so much for communicating your feeling and your whole philosophical urge and psychological stimulation. We really appreciate you taking time between sets at the Artist Quarter, and greet George Avalos and Jay Young and Billy Carruthers for us, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Hey, man, thank you so much, and God bless you, and peace and love, and, and straight ahead, the road keeps winding, narrow, wet, and dimly lit. Peace.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, Leigh.
James Spaulding, artist of piccolo, tenor flute, bass flute, soprano, and alto, currently appearing at the Artist Quarter. He's heading back on stand at 26th and Nicollet in Minneapolis with his fire and passion and message.